Hey there traders, thanks for joining me for this market view video. We're going to take a look at the indices here as we head into a brand new week of trading. So last week was a big week. We broke the lows. We cracked major support here on Tuesday across the board. We saw some of the indices make new lows on Monday as we really moved about 10% lower here for the NASDAQ into Monday's close. Now we went even further on Tuesday, but then we reversed back up sharply. On volume, I might also note, we continued higher on Wednesday and Thursday, and even a little bit on Friday morning before that kind of sell the news response was seen to the econ numbers ahead of the bell. So we finished a little bit lower on Friday, but all in all, this proved to be a bit of a bear trap for the market as we undercut support, kind of flushed out the last of the people who were looking to sell on this move, and then we rebounded very sharply. So that leaves us in an interesting situation. We're back in the middle of this trading range, which has been a big zone of indecision for this market. We also have a lower high here for the NASDAQ and possibly a second lower high right here set last week. So that's not real encouraging, especially considering that we've got lower lows in between those. So you could kind of draw another channel kind of right in here with this index working its way lower. This would be a bounce within that channel. But the fact is, we've got some levels to keep an eye on in the days ahead. Now we've got, for the NASDAQ, we've got kind of this 2420 area. It's been tested a few times early and kind of latter part of September. We may pull back and test that area. We've also got obviously this 2331 low, and then we've got last week's low down here at 2298. So there are some levels here on the way down as well as on the way back up. We've got this 2525 area where this trend line is. We've got 2555 right up here where this green line is. And the red line still up here at 2600. That's still a big level that goes back to March of this year. We bottomed out at 2603 right there. And then we came back down this 2600 area again in June. So that's been a big level. We also failed there here in the end of August. And so at 2600 is a big level. We've got some room to move in either direction here with a market that's really been showing a lot of indecision. So definitely deserves our respect with these short-term lower highs in place. But the bulls did kind of show their presence here last week, and so I think that they may be looking to be buyers on the next dip if it's not an all-out sharp reversal. If we happen to kind of digest and move kind of quietly lower, then we may carve out a short-term higher low versus last week's low. We may have a shot at moving higher. So got to keep an open mind here whichever side you're on. S&P 500 has this recovery high up here. It's got the first lower high right there, the second one here, and we may have just created a third lower high right here. We've also got lower lows in between those. Okay, so here again, this looks like a bounce within a short-term downtrend, but you could also look at it as we're still caught in this lateral trend here. A lot of indecision here between this 1208 area right here where this green level is and down here at this 1101 low. We've also seen a lot of closes down here and a lot of tests of this 1120 area. So it's possible that we maybe pull back to there and see some buyers step in. So we'll just have to see what comes along. For the Dow, this index solidly back within its zone of indecision. Got this continued trading range here. It's been in place for a number of weeks with the exception of just a few short periods of time where we left the upper end or the lower end. Last week we tried to break down and then reverse back up, so we're back here in the range. The Dow has the recovery high right there. It has a lower high there as well as a second lower high and possibly a third lower high being carved out last week. So we'll continue to watch this as well. We've got 11,529 and we've got 10.6 down here as kind of the next two big levels to watch for the Dow. So those are the numbers to watch in the next few days. And we've got the Russell here, which continues to struggle. We've got a recovery high there, first lower high, second lower high, and possibly a third lower high. We've also got lower lows in between those. So small caps are still really struggling here. Not a lot of room from Friday's close down to this big major support zone of 634 to 639. We had 639 here, 634 there. So now, another day like Friday, for example, and we're back down at this level right here, maybe through it. So we've got 601 at the low, and some numbers to contend with on the way back down if we see sellers return. Now the VIX is one other index I wanted to point out here. We saw a pretty sizable pullback last week. I've been pointing out this 48 level up here, which is from May 2010, as well as earlier this year. Well, we ran up to 46.88. I think it was 88. Let me just double check that. Yeah, 46.88 on Tuesday, and now we've pulled back pretty sharply. Still hovering here, still elevated. So we've still kind of got this big move up and then a big wide consolidation here. So volatility, fear is contracting a little bit right now. It's still somewhat elevated, so it still keeps us on our toes as traders. We still got to pay very close attention in the days ahead and keep an open mind for what may come along. So pay close attention to these levels. Of course, if you're looking for some trade ideas, be sure and stop by thestockbandit.com. Take your free trial there and see what we're all about. But other than that, thank you for joining me for this video. Hope you have a great week of trading. I will see you soon with more videos, but until then, trade like a bandit.